Yeah, it is.
Man,
better lighting on this side.
You got Command Central going on there.
That's what we call it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, having some technical difficulties. We'll see how many people will pop on. But so what's rocking? Were you guys on the last bonus call or not?
No, I signed up that afternoon, so I
Okay.
missed it that morning. Yeah, but I watched the replay. I got some good stuff from it, so I appreciate it.
Nice. Yeah. And tell me about, I know you had said you called some, because I said, hey, set up some better open houses. And so how's that going for you?
So I made the calls yesterday. I just went into MLS and looked up 500,000 to 1.5 million homes right here in Santa Ana where we live, and then I narrowed them down to vacant to make it easy. I think I called 4. I talked to 3 people, and I set up 1 open house for Sunday, and then I made 1 more call and set up open house for Saturday. So
Nice.
that was it. That's pretty easy.
Yahoo!
And I did that, and then I'm just going to make sure that the agents, enter it into MLS that it's an open house, and then that should shoot it out to Zillow and Trulia and all those things. And then I'm going to work on just being ready, just like you showed us on that call, being ready, and for anybody that walks through with the questions and the guarantees, and here's how I best help people, or my 3 big things, and then I go into the 3 promises, and then the 3 things I do with you and for you, and then the bottom line is this, and then I go into the 3 guarantees.
Nice.
So, I don't have it down yet, but I kind of have like an outline in my head, so I'll work on it by Saturday.
That's awesome, and that strategy I find works great for realtors, because sometimes myself, I don't have any listings, or my listings aren't a certain price point that I want. And so, yeah, that strategy is great, because like you don't need to have any listings, and lo and behold, you can go get some quality open houses. And
yeah,
oh my gosh.
One's like 715 and completely remodeled, super nice home, been on the market like 20 something days, I think. And then the other one, nice home as well. I think it's like priced at like 670. So nice homes should be some nice traffic coming through.
That's awesome, Brian. Awesome, Karen.
Yeah. And then we've got those 2 buyers that we told you about that just closed, and we just went through the open house script and procedures and stuff this morning before we got on this call with you. And we're going to work on getting those guys set up for a housewarming party. So that'll, so we'll do that too. So.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, they'll be so dazzled. And yeah, I mean, so I'm just thinking about the open house so I mean, on that, let's say you just get 1 quality lead from it. And that quality lead, let's say, is, I don't know, let's say they're $700,000 buyer. They probably have something to sell, right? Most people don't just buy 700 as their first property ever. So maybe they got like a $300,000 something to sell. So that's like $1 million, and $1 million of sales to you guys would be how much gross commission income?
Well, we typically, we usually get 2.5% minus about 2.5% minus somewhere between $800 to $1,000 transaction fee. That's what our broker takes out. So
that's sweet.
$1 million would be 25. So say about 23.5 or 24,000 GCI. Yeah, it's nice. So I'm smiling too. Woo! Thumbs up. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And then with the housewarming parties, I'd say you'd be at that same thing, right? When you do a housewarming party, you're probably going to add an additional 25,000 gross commission income every time you do one of those.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it'll go well. One person, one of the buyers is here local, and they bought at 430. I think it was 430. Yeah, so he was at 430, and he had a home to sell. He actually had his first home was a mobile home. He did really well on that. He netted like off the mobile home, and that was his down payment into the 430. And around here in Santa Ana, like Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Garden Grove, there's actually a few mobile home parks, and so we picked up like 2 buyers off of the mobile home parks have like space rent of like $1,100 to $1,500. So sometimes you talk to the person and they end up buying a condo, or they maybe even buy a single family. But that's one housewarming party we'll do. And so that was a 430 purchase nearby. The other one is further up north. It's actually up north, and the purchase price on that one was $296 for Armando. Yeah, it was $296.
Nice.
And that was his first home. So but he's been really, really vocal about how happy he was with us. Mostly Karen, because Karen did all the hard work. But
Nice.
I think that'll be really good too. But I figured you probably had some things, lined up to talk to us all about on this call. But in case you don't, I'm prepared. I have some questions.
Yeah, beautiful.
So,
Okay, so
let me know.
have I talked to you guys about the housewarming party stuff yet?
So you did that call with us, and you gave us basically everything as far as like the scripting to say on the phone, how to invite them. So you went over, it's kind of like 3 parts. The first part is letting them know we're going to invite them to quarterly stuff. The second part is asking for the referral. And then the third part is telling them about the housewarming party and getting their permission. So you went through that. And then you also went through how you do, how you get their attention at the housewarming party and what you have to say where you're being grateful to the buyer, the client, and then going into the cards and filling out the cards. So you went through all of that, and then also how if they do a referral, they put in an extra card for each referral. And you gave some examples of the prizes and the food and the budget, $300 to $500 usually for everything. So we've got all of that.
Perfect. Awesome. Man, you guys are like good listeners.
Well, I went through and I listened to the replay and I took notes from the replay. It's really helpful that you record these and send the recordings out, because then you can just kind of pay attention. You don't have to get caught up in taking notes. And then I go back and take some notes.
Beautiful.
I don't know if we had any. Oh yeah. So you told me that when it comes to inviting the neighbors, you send out a mailer. How do you get the mailing list of the neighbors?
Awesome. So what I do is that's okay. I've heard that ring before. What I do is I just call for California, we got escrow companies and title companies. And so I just give them a call and I say, hey, I want to mail out 100 letters around this address. And this is the address. And then I usually just tell my title person, like, hey, can you print those out on a label? And can I pick that up like 2 hours from now? And the title person's like, yeah, not a problem. It'll be at the front desk. And so then I just have the labels.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah, and I just put the label on. Sometimes I mail a letter out. A lot of times it's just kind of a postcard. I just kind of print it from my computer. Nothing fancy. But, something to the effect of like, oh my gosh, you got a new neighbor now. Here's their names. They have 2 kids, age this and this, or no kids, and they got their favorite dog, Fido, and Fido is a poodle. Maybe you've seen them around the neighborhood. Maybe you haven't, but we're doing a housewarming party on this day at this time. Feel free to come by and say hello and meet your new neighbors. They'd love to meet you too.
Awesome, perfect.
And then what I like to do, I like to have an RSVP. So I say, hey, RSVP back to me. My name's Brian, and here's my phone number. and then they call you up, and then usually they're like, now who are you, Brian? And then you say like, well, I'm their realtor.
Didn't your realtor do this for you when you moved into your new home? Right? Is that it?
100%. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're awesome. Yeah. Cool.
I should take notes from you guys because you guys might know this better than I know this now.
No.
Brian.
What I would do is I would make it way more complicated. So
Wow.
you keep it simple.
Well, it's very simple. So sometimes what happens at my 3-day event, like someone will take a bunch of notes, and then I'll ask them, hey, can you send me your notes? And one of the gentlemen at the last 3 days sent me the notes. I'm like, man, that's good stuff, you know? And so, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
What other questions do you have?
Party, when you do the invites to their guest list, the guest list that they provide you, do you mail that out or do you do like an Evite?
You could do either or. I'm old fashioned. I mean, so at the 3-day event, you'll see my PowerPoint. I'll show you my PowerPoint. My PowerPoint consists of like boards like this. And
Yeah.
sometimes I go fancy and I have like this type of stuff and I doodle on it. So
Yeah.
I send them out in the mail, but I do have some realtors who are more techie than me and they do the invite or the Evite or whatever it's called.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. Now, when it comes to like your performance guarantees and your promises and things like that, do you give the client a copy of those things, or you just show them to them? You know, I didn't know if that was something.
Great question. So I call this my green machine, and on my green machine, I have like my ideal weekly calendar of exactly what's going on. I have my lead and IC tracker. I have my daily tasks, so what I'm doing Monday through Friday. I have my, I call it my celebrations tracker. So I'm tracking like closed, pendings, buyers I'm working with, sellers I'm working with, buyers that I might be working with. And then I flip the page, and then this is, you know, my 3 promises, the 3 things I'm going to be doing with them and for them. Bottom line, going to get the job done, not going to let them down. And then voila, the buyer guarantees. And so it's, you know, hey, we're going to save you $10,000 or more. If not, $2,400.
Okay.
Uh,
So that's you just go through it like that. I mean, that with them, you just hold the notebook up and flip through it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have that at my open house.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, I many times I'll make copies of this. So maybe I make 20 copies and I bring this to the open house. And if it's my listing, I have a nice 12-page brochure.
Right.
Like here's an example of a house I sold. So here's the 12-page brochure on it. But if it's a house that I'm doing an open house for and I don't have it, or let's say it's a realtor.com lead and I'm showing them homes, yeah, I have this kind of information, and I say, yeah, as my newest client, here's my performance guarantees.
Okay.
Where most realtors want to hide this stuff under like a secret lock and key, I'm like, no, I'm pretty transparent. Like, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And people like that because they're just like, because what they're thinking, I think, in their brain is like, well, that's what Brian and Karen tell me now, but 1 month into it, when it's a disaster, Brian and Karen are going to forget about it, and then we're going to argue, and then we're going to have a blow up and whatever, right? Because that's kind of humanity many times. And it's like, I'm constantly reminding them, right? So here's the piece of paper, and then every time we go look at houses, I'll reiterate to them. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you lost your last copy, but here's another one for you.
Yeah.
And that way they know, they're like, man, this person is fill in the blank. Some people think I'm weird. Some people think I'm different. Most people, though, are like, this person is a person of his word.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's a good thing to be known for.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Cool. I listened to some of the replays that you've done, like where you've just done like the hangouts with other agents that, to kind of walk them through some of the parts of your system.
Yeah.
And there was two things that I was going to go back and try to find on the replays, but I figured, well, since we're having this call, I'll just ask you. One thing was, can you go over like how you set up your times for your open houses? Because if I remember correctly, you set them up so that you've got some time in between, so that if you meet somebody at open house number 1, you've got some time to take them out and show them houses before you do open house number 2. So if you could go through that, that would be helpful. And then there was another thing on one of the replays where somebody asked you, they said, well, what do you do if you want to show this house and the house is like only showing on certain days and times? You had a script that you went through where you kind of talked about, hey, I know this is last minute, but I've got this guy only in town or something like that. If you could go through that, that'd be super helpful.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so yes, generally when I do open houses, and I recommend realtors emulate it as much as you can, maybe that first open house you do is call it 10 in the morning till noon, or 11 a.m. till 1 in the afternoon. And then that next open house might be 4 to 6, or might be 3 to 5. Usually I have like a 2-hour gap or a 2-hour window in between the open houses, because, yeah, my goal is when someone walks into that open house, I want them to go like, yeah, we're looking for houses, and yeah, if you could show us something as nice, if not nicer than this, that'd be great. And so now I can start helping them immediately, instead of saying, oh, thanks for coming into the open house, let me go show you homes next Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if they come into the open house and I'm doing it from 11 to 1, and they come in at noon, I can say, oh my gosh, yeah, would you like to buy this house? Nah, it doesn't have whatever. Okay, cool. Well, hey, if I could show you some other homes that are similar, maybe even some that are even nicer than this one, would that be okay with you? And most people are like, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, cool. Well, the open house ends at 1 o'clock. Why don't I do this? Why don't I set up some homes for us to see from maybe 1:15 to like 2 o'clock? I got another open I have to do at 3 o'clock, but I got some time in between, and let's make it happen. And most people are like, yeah, let's make it happen. And so I'm not going to show them everything that's available, but I might be able to show them 2-3 more homes, build some more rapport, so they realize like, wow, Brian and Karen are nice people, and we'd like to use them over going to another 9 open houses to try and find a house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help with that?
Awesome. Yeah, that helps a lot.
And then the other part, so let's say you see sometimes on the bottom of MLS like 99-hour showing notice or something. Yeah, so what I do, I call the realtor up and I just say, hey, that's great, but I just met this buyer at this open house, and they seem really, really motivated. And the only time that really works is today at like 1:30 in the afternoon. And I know that's only like 60 minutes away, but can we do that? And the realtor is probably going to be gruff and be like, oh, blah. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but really the time that works best for myself and these buyers is, today at 1:30. And I mean, I know this, I'll just be honest. Well, I'll be honest with you. You want a buyer that wants to see that house immediately versus a buyer that wants to see it 5 days from now. Because that buyer who wants to see it 5 days from now probably is not that motivated of a buyer versus a buyer that wants to see it now. They're a lot more motivated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think about Starbucks coffee until I want Starbucks coffee. Like, I don't plan my day and go 5 days out at 1 in the afternoon. I think I'd like to get I don't get coffee, but you know, I want to get a. It's like I'm kind of educating this realtor into what they're doing might not be that wise. And even if that realtor says, "Hey, no, we can't do it," I'm still gonna. Let's say that's the first house we're gonna look at. We'll still drive to that first house. I'll meet the buyers there, and I'll just say, "Hey guys, I tried to get this one set up. They want a 99-hour head time notice. I'm going to do this. I might get chewed out, but I'm going to knock on the front door and just ask the sellers if they would be okay with having us take a look. And if they are, great. And if they aren't, that's okay too, right? And then I just knock on the door and I just say, hey guys, my name's Jonathan. I tried setting up a showing. I know you want a 99-hour notice, and that's great. But I'm here with these buyers, Fred and Sally. Kind of see them in the car there. Yep, that's them. If possible, we'd love to take a look at your home. If not, 100% respect that you want 99 hours, and we'll do our best to see it, 99 hours from now.
Okay.
And many times what happens is the sellers are sometimes unaware that that's even on their
There's
thing.
a 99-hour notice, yeah.
And the seller's like, we don't care when people come by, and so I'm not out to, I'm just always in my brain trying to go, what's a solution? And I think what happens, buyers respect that because my buyers go, man, here's a guy who's willing to kind of go above and beyond, and he's visually showing us this versus a traditional realtor that says on their business card, I go above and beyond. It's like,
right.
I'm showing them, I'm demonstrating them, and that seller might yell at me and be like, can't you read? Da, 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 and I go, yeah, I'm just, we'll come back 99 hours, no problem.
Yeah. Cool. I like that. That's very good. You mentioned with your Ultimate 200, your database that you send out a video, you do a call, you do a letter. You send like a personal letter, kind of like a letter from the heart kind of thing, or do you do a newsletter? Yeah. And the reason I'm asking this now, and you're probably like, man, just wait until the 3-day, but we've actually been kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit on sending something out in print to our database. And we made a commitment that we're getting something out in October.
Nice.
And so I don't want to wait until the 3-day. I want to make sure that we keep that commitment. So
beautiful. Yes.
Ask you about it right now.
Yeah. So I'll give you the example of the letter I sent out to my Ultimate 200. Would that be okay? And I'll verbally go over it with you.
Yeah, sure.
It's in the essence of like, and I always say, dear friend, or hello friend. So I don't, because I try and spend as little time as possible around my computer. I guess I could like put in insert first name, insert whatever. That sounds complicated. So I just write one letter. It says, hey friends. And then I usually say something about like just something in general. So like for my one I sent in September, I said the Chargers played their first game, the football team, and they were up by like 25 points and they lost by like a touchdown or something. I forget exactly. but I was like, oh man, you know, it's a different year, but same result, right? San Diego Chargers. Oh, yeah, what can you do, right? It's good that we got great weather. And then,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the opening line. And then the next sentence is like, oh my gosh, this last month I had the privilege of helping out. In the last letter, I put down Chris Lemaster. So I've had the privilege of helping out Chris Lemaster. Really nice guy. You know, he works at Qualcomm. He had a home, and we listed it. We got it sold for like $18,000 above list price, which was really cool. But even more cool is that we're going to be closing on his new townhome, and his townhome is in his dream location. Like, oh my gosh, he's tickled pink about it. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun getting to know Chris, and then I described maybe how I met Chris. So in this case, Chris was referred to me by Johnson Hack, and so I say, hey, Chris was introduced to me by Johnson Hack, really nice guy. I helped them buy and sell a home, you know, about 2 years ago, give or take. But it could have been a Realtor.com lead. And I would say, hey, Chris and I met via a Realtor.com lead. Or Chris and I met via an open house. It doesn't matter how, but I just want to say how. And then the next paragraph is, so let's see, I did one, like, you know, just a fact going on in the area. I did, hey, this is who I worked with this last month. The third is, oh my gosh, if you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling a home, you know, maybe, and then I'm going to copy. Do you have Guide to Your Success yet? You should.
Yeah, we printed it out.
Okay, cool. So basically, it's like almost the top of page 50, and I don't go that in depth, but I kind of just say like, oh my gosh, if you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling a home who's even half as nice as you, and I love to say half as nice as you. So if you know anybody who's half as nice as you, who's thinking about buying or selling a home, have them reach out to me, right? Or simply send me their name, their phone number, their email. I'll follow up with them for you. Hey, have a great rest of your September. And then I usually do 2 PSs. One PS is, hey, what's going on in your world? How's your family? What are you doing? You know, how's your job? What are you doing for fun? You know, did you take a summer vacation? Reach out to me. I'd love to know what's going on with you. And then the second PS is PS. Hey, I want to be your real estate resource. And I interact with a lot of people in a typical month. And I've come across some really cool people who run their business at a really high level, like a different level. And so if you need somebody to cut your dog's hair, if you need an attorney, if you need somebody to clean your swimming pool, fix your screen door, whatever it is, reach out to me. And I'd love to introduce you to somebody who's like really, really good.
Okay, I like that. That's
yeah,
good.
so the letter's got a couple of parts to it. One is just, hey, friends, and then it's a 2-sentence thing about something. And it's something because I'm interested into football. Like, what would be something you're interested in that's in the LA area?
I don't know. We have to. Well, I mean, I like football too, but I'm a Patriots fan.
Patriots fan.
So, liars and cheaters.
Wow.
That's what all the non-Patriots fans call us.
Oh, exactly. So I love the Patriots too. So on that letter, you could be like, oh my gosh, the Patriots, they're 3-0. Who would have thought?
Without rain.
And then in probably all caps, I'd put like me. Like seriously, their system. Like, I think I got a pretty good signature system that does real estate. Like the Patriots, they got a signature system for like how to dominate, because they don't, I mean, they plug and play like there's no tomorrow, you know. And it's but Karen, what would be something that like I don't know, what kind of dazzles you outside of real estate?
You know, we do stuff with our kids. You know, Marie's 16. She's a junior at Saddleback, which is, you know, the high school right down the road. A lot of people are gonna, you know, in our area are gonna know Saddleback. So we could, you know, so we do, like we just did a couple of weeks ago, we did a back to school night where we actually spent 15 minutes at each of her classes and with her teachers, and, you know, in the same order that she goes to the period.
Yeah.
So we did that, you know, so that was kind of cool. And,
So
you know,
you could put that down, right? There's so many things you could put, but yes, if I was sending a letter out, and if I'm going to send it out in the next week, you know, it would just be like, oh man, for those of us who are parents, we just celebrated like 3 weeks ago that our kids are back in school. Like, there's nothing greater than having the kids back in school, right? And maybe when we're 70, we'll be like, oh man, I wish we spent more time with the kids. But wow, when you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you've had 70 days of the kids at home solid during summer, and then they go back to school, that's a beautiful day, you know? And you know, what's really cool is this year we got to go to Saddleback High School, and they really run their program really well. And we got to visit each class for 15 minutes. It was a lot of fun. I would have never thought of blah, 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 but it was really cool, right? And it's the same kind of thing. And so you send that letter out, and then basically 2 weeks later, I create a video as well. And a video goes out to every single person in my Ultimate 200. And that video is pretty much the same thing or same concept as the letter.
okay.
Does that make sense? And so my video is like, it's usually the same material even. It's like, you know, and I start with like, hey, rock stars, how you doing? This is Jonathan. Oh my gosh, you know, the Patriots, they're 3-0. Of course, they are. Hey, if you want to become a Patriot fan, give me a call. I'll get you a scarf. I'll get you a hat. You know, at some point in your life, you're going to convert. You might as well do it now. And oh my gosh, the kids are back into school. That's really cool. You know, our 16-year-old is in high school now, and this happened. And gosh, reach out to us. We want to know what's going on in your world. Like, what's going on with your kids, right? Some of you might have kids in college. Some of you might have kids that are getting married. Some of you guys have a brand new baby newborn. Like, reach out to us and tell us what's going on in your world. And I mean, it's all just like human connection. And then
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then it's like you know, transition to you know, the other part of it, which is like, hey, this is a family we helped out. We helped them sell this and buy this. We met them because of this way or that way. Oh my gosh, you know, if you know anybody who's half as nice as you, and they're thinking about selling or buying a home, and they might be frustrated or anxious, concerned, worried, reach out to me or to Karen. We'd love to help you or help them. And hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day. P.S. And then do the 2 P.S.s, and away you go.
Cool. Awesome. That sounds good. We'll knock it out. We'll get it done for October.
Yeah. And for you guys, what's pretty cool is you could do the video with both of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know, so basically Brian's like, yeah, go Patriots. And Karen's like, you know, I'm not into football, but oh my gosh, I made this new recipe called blah, blah, blah casserole. And I'm telling you, I thought it would be horrible. It's the best thing ever. So, if, you know, or what, you know, it could be flip flop. Karen could be into football and Brian's into casserole. You know, you're just, you just want people to be like, wow, Brian and Karen are real people just like us. Because I don't care if you're worth $10 million or you're worth $0. People are all the same. They just want to have human connection with good people.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Cool. That's awesome. Super helpful.
What else?
I got another question for you.
Yeah.
You have time to talk a little bit about what you do with the Chamber of Commerce, like how, because that's kind of how you build up some people that refer you, right? And then that's also how you build up your service provider list.
Yeah. Okay. So So real quick. Okay. Let's say I got dropped into pick a state.
Hawaii.
All right. I got dropped into Hawaii. I know like nobody in Hawaii except for a couple of realtors I bumped into just when we went there last. I'm kind of addicted to going into open houses. And what I'll do sometimes is I'll be like, hey, can I help you make an additional $300,000 of income? Because like the way you greeted me at the open house is not going to happen. Like you should try this instead. And some realtors don't want my advice, so that's okay. And some are like, wow, that's pretty good. But anyway, so I just know a couple of realtors. But I would be dropped into Hawaii. I would join a Chamber of Commerce. So I'd call the chamber, hey, I want to join. They say it's $100, write them a check, and then they give me a list of all these names. And I'm probably never going to go to a chamber meeting, ever. But what I am going to do is I'm going to call. Have I ever done this with you guys before or not?
I've heard it on a replay.
Okay, so I'm going to call, start with the A's, and it's going to be like, let's say it's auto body. So I give you a call, and it'd be, hey, is Brian there?
Yeah, this is Brian.
Hey, Brian. So my name's Jonathan. I just joined the Maui Chamber of Commerce, and I see you're a member as well. You know, tell me, what's the best part of being a chamber member?
I think a lot of customers like to see that we're involved in the community, and so that's good. And then there's some events that I go to. I get to network with some people. So, I mean, I'd say that's probably the best thing.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, yeah, so, you know, I just joined. I've been a member for like 60 minutes. And I want to start, and I called you because you're at the A's. Who are some people in the chamber that I should probably avoid? And who are some people in the chamber that I should probably get to know?
Definitely stay away from Jeff over at, ABC Body Shop. And as far as the people you should know, you should really get to know, Janet with so-and-so. I mean, she's awesome. She'll tell you everything that's going on, and she's been really helpful. She's referred a lot of people to me.
Gotcha. And I usually don't say that, but that just came to my brain because most humans, if you ask them, like, okay, we were in a political election, most people, they're either vehemently for somebody or they're vehemently against somebody, or they could care less, right?
So you're covering all your...
Right, and so if I ask somebody, hey, who are some cool people and who are some people I should avoid, right? They're like, oh man, if you talk to Sally, that is going to be a nightmare. And if you do this, and it's just their opinion, but it's like I'm asking their opinion, which people don't get asked their opinion so much these days. And so it's just opening the dialogue. But then I'll say, okay, cool. So a question for you. I know you do auto body shop stuff, but who's your ideal client?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll...
I'd say, gosh, anybody in this area with a car and insurance to pay for repairs.
Gotcha. Okay. So is it okay, the next 30 days, I'll keep an eye out for that? And if I find somebody that needs that, can I refer them to you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right, hey, have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for calling.
Yep. And I might have to call, 10 of those, but usually people might ask me what?
What do you do? Yeah, exactly.
Why did you join the...
Yeah, why'd you join?
Yeah,
the chamber.
Why'd you join? Or who are you? Or, they're not expecting, like, this just doesn't happen, right? Like, I've been part of chambers before. Yeah,
Skeptical.
yeah, skeptical.
Yeah,
Like,
calling me.
Yeah.
Or
What do you want?
Oh.
What do you want?
yeah. Well, I want to help you out. So yeah, if I can send you people that fit your ideal client, oh man, I'm going to definitely do that for you.
Okay.
But yeah, what do I do? Oh my gosh, I'm a professional real estate consultant, and I have the privilege of helping people buy and sell the largest asset they probably ever have. And oh my gosh, I just love it. I love what I do. I have a very signature system that allows people to buy a home for the lowest possible price in the time frame they want with the least amount of stress. And then conversely, I use an invested approach to sell homes for the highest possible price in the time frame they want with the least amount of stress. Oh my gosh. Hey, so Karen and Brian, before I guess I let you go, like who now who's thinking about buying or selling a home and they could benefit by working with somebody like me?
Mm-hmm.
And then lo and behold, they're either going to say yes or no. And if they say no, that's okay. But in my experience, oh my gosh, if I call, I don't keep track as much as I should, but let's just say 10 to 20 people, you're going to get one introduction.
Oh, really?
It's just like the open house calls that you did earlier, right? Like maybe a year ago you would have been like, well, no realtor's ever going to let me do their open. And it's like, well, have you called? No, but that's just my assumption. It's like, well, what if your assumption was incorrect, you know? And so, yeah, you typically probably got to have 10 of those conversations and you'll get one good introduction. And then, so when I'm calling the chamber people, you can kind of know when you connect with people like, man, this person's going somewhere, or this person thinks the world is the worst thing ever. And so I just don't want to hang out with someone who thinks the world is the worst place ever. But if I come across, like, let's say I come across you guys and you do auto body shop stuff, I'd be like, man, Karen and Brian, it sounds like you run your business like at a different level. Can I swing by, bring you some donuts tomorrow, and we just have a quick chat?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. When you want to stop by?
7 a.m.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Come on by. Bring the donuts.
Perfect. And then I drop my 16-year-old off at high school, and then right after I bring the donuts over, right? And now I'm connecting with somebody that I've only been in Hawaii for 60 minutes. But I'm the one choosing to connect with people. I'm not waiting for the chamber event on Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
Okay.
I'm never going to them. Never. I went to a few in my life, and I was like, that's painful. Because
I think that's a good. I like your take on the whole chamber thing, because I've heard people say join the chamber and go to all the events and get involved, and I did that, and it was painful. It was it was like, I'm not interested. You know, there's already like 5 realtors here that have been here forever that everybody knows, and in this little group, and it was just, it wasn't fun at all. So
well. And what's great is, so the auto body shop guy, he might say, hey, Jonathan, we appreciate it, but I know 7 realtors. 4 of them are in the chamber, 3 of them are my next door neighbors, whatever. And I might say, hey, that's great, no problem. All I'm saying is just give me an opportunity. And, when you do come across someone who's even half as nice as you, and they're thinking about buying or selling a home, reach out to me. I'd love to help them. But when I show up for donuts, I'm bringing my binder. And I guarantee you these other 7 realtors that he knows, they don't go, yeah, this is how I run my business. Right. Oh, you got a calendar? And it's like, well, everybody's got a calendar, just nobody follows it. And then here's my lead. So when you give me a lead, and the cool part about it, see, now I'm helping the business owner. So I tell Brian and Karen, the auto body shop, I'm like, you guys should think of having a calendar. and putting down, like, yeah, you got to do the auto body work, but you should have like 30 minutes a day. See that where it says TY cards? You should send a thank you card out to every single person who yesterday you did auto body work for. And the business owner goes, that's a brilliant idea. And now you just, does that make sense?
Yeah, you're helping them out.
You're helping them out. And then how about this? How about instead of lead conversations, because you probably don't have to convince people to do auto body work with you, but why not at the end of every day, you call back everybody you did auto body work for the previous day. And you just say, hey, out of the 7,000 places you could have took your car to, you took it to my shop, and I just want to say thank you. Oh my gosh. You're going to get people on the other end of the phone practically crying because they're going to be like, are you serious? Am I on the radio show? No, I just wanted to say thank you. You know, you could have went to 7,000 other places. You chose to come to our auto body shop. I really appreciate that. And I just wanted to follow up and ask you, how's the car repair doing? Is it still like, you know, did we fix it? Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. Well, hey, if anything happens, right, in the next 90 days, bring it in and we fix it for free. Because they probably already have that guarantee, but their guarantee is like hidden in the fine print, right? So it goes back to what you had mentioned earlier, like, do I have my guarantees typed up? Yeah, right? And so basically once a month, that guy could be calling his past clients, just going like, hey, is the air conditioning still working? Because if not, bring it on in. We'll fix it for free.
Cool.
I mean, oh my gosh, that person's business in a matter of a year would be the #1 auto body place in all of LA.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's really the signature system. So it's like, okay, here's the calendar, here's the lead and IC tracker. This is what I do. You know, yeah, you're going to get people that are like, holy cow, you guys have 3 promises and you do this and you do that. And how do you keep up with it all? And it's like, well, it goes back to this. We're really efficient on working with a premium client. So like we don't work with everybody, you know? And so what happens when you do introduce somebody to me, I'm going to do what's called an initial consultation. And we're going to spend the first 20 minutes finding out if I'm a good fit for them and if they're a good fit for me. And if they are, then awesome. Then we progress ahead and we move ahead as, you know, a client. And if we're not a good fit, I just tell them, hey, I'm probably not a good fit for you. You should search for another realtor instead, or you should stay where you're at, or, you know, you probably shouldn't move. It's very, very different versus a traditional realtor says, oh my gosh, you got a lead? Yep, I can help them out.
Yeah. Cool. I like that. Awesome.
Man, I wish I was there with you guys right now. Man, we could accomplish so much.
Well, I feel like we've gotten a good start on, you know, with the calls and everything. And we're looking forward to it. We really are. We're really excited about it. I mean, like I said before, you just keep it very simple. It seems like everybody else really likes to complicate it and make it difficult. But when you keep it really simple and you're going after a nice price point, you know, it's pretty easy. So
yeah, it's really simple, and it's being okay with the word no. So like, for instance, if I did join a chamber and they go, hey, Jonathan, we want you to be the chairman of whatever, I would say, oh my gosh, that's really cool, but, you know, I'm going to pass on that. Or like lenders, oh my gosh, you guys probably get this all the time too, where lenders will call you and be like, hey, do you want to have lunch? Do you want to have coffee? And I pretty much say like, no, I mean, I don't need coffee. I don't need lunch. Well, can I tell you about how we do our interest rates? No, you know, all I'm looking for is a lender that I can send all my business to. And in return, they send me $1 million of business a month. Is that something you think you can do? And the lender either says yes or no. And the lender will usually say, well, I don't get like leads that aren't attached to a realtor. So then I say, okay, we should meet and talk, because what you need to probably do is work your, I guess the term would be database, but you need to send a letter out once a month, a video out once a month, a phone call out to them once a month, and then out of your 200, take out 25 people once a month. And when you do that, you'll probably send me like $2 million of business a month. Does that make sense? But because you're going to uncover so much business, that's you know. And then they say, well, what do I say in the letter? And you'd say exactly what we just went over. Well, what about the video? It exists here. Well, what about the phone call? Cool. Page 49, 50, 51. You know, in Guide to Your Success. Well, what's the 25 event about? Have I gone over the 25 event or not?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. So this is where. Do you have any other questions, by the way, or?
No, that's the list.
Okay, cool. So we'll end on this one then. So I call it the Elite 25. So every month I want to invite 25 people to do something, and it's what the power of this is. You guys want to be the ones organizing it and doing it. So like if you go to a chamber meeting, it doesn't count because it's like you didn't organize it, right? And it can be as simple as, hey, we're going to watch the LA Rams game at our house. Why don't you come over for the game? Hey, we're going to go treat our teenage daughters to getting their nails done at this salon on Saturday from 2 to 4. Why don't you come join us? And we're paying for it. Hey, we're going to go feed the ducks at the local pond, the Anaheim Lake or whatever it is. And we're going to buy a loaf of bread for every single person age 100 and under. You know, come join us. You know, does that make sense? And you're like a loaf of bread is $1.50. I don't even know, but it's cheap, right? It's like even if it was $5 a loaf of bread, 5 times 25 loaves of bread is $125. That is like monumental, because probably some of your friends, do they have kids that are age 10 and under?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like a 10-year-old child who gets a loaf of bread to feed the ducks, I never had that when I was a kid. I had to share like 3 slices with my brothers, you know? And so we're peeling little pieces off. Oh my gosh, you give like a 6-year-old boy a loaf of bread? You might as well bought him the winning lottery ticket, you know? And so it's just, I don't know. It's just different, right? And so it doesn't matter what you do. I have some clients, they do really fancy things. You can if you want, if that's your personality and you want to invite 25 people to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, that's fine. My personality is, and my bride is the same. Like, I mean, seriously, for our wedding anniversary, we'd rather just go to In-N-Out Burger. It's just a good hamburger, you know? So we have to kind of force ourselves to be like, well, we should eat shrimp and lobster, I guess. So I guess let's go to that place, but afterwards, let's just go get a burger, you know? And so, you know, so, but like once a month where you're doing something. And it could be as simple as like, oh my gosh, the new Disney movie's coming out, you know, and it's coming out in 2 weeks from now. Why don't you bring your kids and but whatever it is, it's like you're paying for it. So you're organizing it and you're paying for it.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Cool. So 25, 200. So like one. So are you just kind of like cherry picking the people based on the event, or is there any kind of, so like if you're doing the, obviously teenage girls getting your nails done, you're focusing on the clients that have teenage girls.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, or
Set up the event, kind of cherry pick it.
yeah, or just like so out of your database of 200 people, are there some people that you'd be okay spending like 60 minutes with versus other people I don't know if I'd want to spend 60 minutes with?
Yeah, there's probably some that way.
Yeah, so I would say, okay, probably focus on the people that you'd want to spend time with, right? Like, hey, we're making a, do you guys have a favorite food that you guys make?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what it would be. I don't know what it would be.
Like, I don't think so. But
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know.
You could invent your favorite food. Like you go, hey, we like spaghetti. So that could be your first event. Invite 25 people over to your home to have spaghetti.
Okay.
Right? And some realtors are like, yeah, but you don't get it. Like, I don't live in a nice house. I'm like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, they don't care. In fact, probably if you got like your ceilings half crumbling down, they can relate to you and they can go like, hey, these guys, Brian and Karen, their house looks like a disaster, just like my house looks like a disaster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, come on over, and that's pretty cheap to do. So again, it's the key is just once a month you're doing something where you're physically inviting 25 people, maybe 10 people show up, maybe 5 people show up. Awesome.
Okay. Now that Ultimate 200, are those all clients, like your favorite 200 clients, or are there other kind of like referral partners in there, or is it all clients?
Everything. So basically, okay, so a lot of realtors have this database of like thousands of people. And to me, I'm like, whoa, that's like brain overload, because you're probably not doing anything, except you got these 200 people in some fancy something or other, and it makes you feel good at night knowing that they're sitting in this lockbox somewhere. So what we want to do is forget 4,000 or 1,000 or 500, but let's start calling, just starting with 200 people, and it could be 0 clients, 0 past clients, but it could be a friend of a friend at school, right? It could be that parent that, man, you see all the time, and it doesn't matter. But it's 200 people that you're committed to calling them once a month, sending them a letter once a month, sending them a video, and basically this 200 year over year gets better and better and better. Does that make sense? So you might start with 200 and realize like, wow, I need to probably develop some new relationships. And it's like, that's awesome. All of us do. So that means let's join a chamber, right? Or that means like, gosh, instead of just dropping off your child at somebody's house, why not like walk up to the door and be like, hi, my name's Jonathan. Thanks for having my daughter Jamie over to your house. They're really good friends. Thanks for doing that. And I strike up a 7-minute conversation with both parents versus, you know how it is sometimes as parents, it's like, hey, I don't know the other parents' names even, you know? And it's just because I haven't chosen to like be a little more friendly, caring, energetic, magnetic, and assertive. And so get to know them, and who knows? Maybe that person's just a really cool person. Maybe that person is like, I'm in charge of the HR department for all of LA County, and we bring in 300 people a day moving into LA. And be like, wow, that was pretty smart of me to go introduce myself to that parent. You know, but what I do, see, I try really hard to treat everybody the same. So it's like, if I have I got a friend, he works at a convenience store. Like, you know, the person checking out and stocking the shelves. he is not well-to-do financially, but I just like him. He's a good guy. And
Yeah.
I many times invite him to come to my Elite 25 get-together. And I'll also
Mhm.
invite the CFO of Callaway Golf Clubs to come to my Elite 25. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? It's like, it's not like, I'm not trying to think like, gosh, are they going to get along? Are they in the same eco stratosphere? Did they buy? You know, it's just like, no. I just want to invite 25 people that I think are pretty cool, and most of my friends could care less what the other friend does. It's like
Mhm.
that's not. I mean, that's just a little name tag that says this is my job. You know, what's more important is like who's the person inside. That's my personality, at least.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. All right, rock stars. We both got a skedaddle.
Exactly. Lots to do. Jonathan,
Yeah.
thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, this is.
Jonathan, thank you so much for giving us that prize break.
Oh,
Oh, you're recording this thing.
Oh, that's okay.
yeah.
That's okay. I want to help you guys out, and
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah,
Awesome.
of course.
Thanks, Jonathan.
See you, rock
Bye.
stars. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.